the servant, Hana becoming, Tara by them, Ladhikaya is kicked, Brahmite Brahmite, wandering and wandering, Yadi if Sadhu a devotee, Vaidya physician, Paya he gets, Tanra his, Upadesha mantra by instruction in hymns, Pishachi the witch, the external energy, Palaya fleece, Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, Paya obtains, Tabe in this way, Krishna Nikatayaya, he goes to Krishna. Translation and purport His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. In this way, the conditioned soul becomes the servant of lusty desires, and when these are not fulfilled, he becomes the servant of anger and continues to be kicked by the external energy Maya. Wandering and wandering throughout the universe, he may by chance get the association of a devotee physician, whose instructions and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets into touch with devotional service to Lord Krishna, and in this way he can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord. Purport. As explanation of verses 8 through 15 is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Prabhava Bhashya. The Lord is spread throughout the creation in his quadruple expansions and incarnations. Krishna is fully represented with all potencies in each and every personal extension, but the living entities, although separated expansions, are also considered one of the Lord's energies. The living entities are divided into two categories, the external liberated and the eternally conditioned. Those who are ever liberated never come in contact with Maya, the external energy. The ever conditioned souls are always under the clutches of the external energy. This is described by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 7:14. Daivihesha gunamai mamamaya duratya. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. The Nitya Badhas are always conditioned by the external energy, and the Nitya Muktas never come in contact with the external energy. Sometimes an ever liberated personal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends into this universe just as the Lord descends. Although working for the liberation of conditioned souls, the messenger of the Supreme Lord remains untouched by the material energy. Generally, ever liberated personalities live in the spiritual world as associates of Lord Krishna, and they are known as Krishna Parishada, associates of the Lord. Their only business is enjoying Lord Krishna's company, and even though such eternally liberated persons come within this material world to serve the Lord's purpose, they enjoy Lord Krishna's company without stoppage. The ever-liberated persons who works on Krishna's behalf enjoys Lord Krishna's company through his engagement. The ever-conditioned soul, provoked by lusty desires to enjoy the material world, is forced to transmigrate from one body to another. Sometimes he is elevated to higher planetary systems, and sometimes he is degraded to hellish planets and subjected to the tribulations of the external energy. Due to being conditioned by the external energy, the conditioned soul within this material world gets two kinds of bodies: a gross material body and a subtle material body composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. Due to gross and subtle bodies, he is subjected to the threefold miseries: adhyatmika, adhibhautika, and adhidavika. Miseries arising from the body and mind, other living entities, and natural disturbances caused by demigods from higher planetary systems. The conditioned soul, subjected to the threefold material miseries, is ceaselessly kicked by Maya, and this is his disease. If by chance he meets a saintly person who works on Krishna's behalf to deliver conditioned souls, and if he agrees to abide by his order, he can gradually approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Do we need to chant again? Translation? It's clear, yeah? Okay, I can again translation. In this way, the conditioned soul becomes a servant of lusty desires, and when these are not fulfilled, he becomes a servant of anger and continues to be kicked by the external energy Maya. Wandering and wandering throughout the universe, he may by chance get the association of a devotee physician, whose instructions and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets into touch with devotional service to Lord Krishna, and in this way he can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord. Amagnatimirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshunurmitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya manabhishtam stapitam yena bhutare swayam rupa kadamahyam dadati svapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasyanubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada repeat some explanations of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And one of the point, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that although there is two kind of living entities, ever conditioned and ever liberated, these two kinds of living entities belong to the one energy of the Lord. Yeah, and in the ultimate sense, in the spiritual, from the spiritual platform, there is no difference between ever conditioned, ever liberated living entities. Jiva, yeah, Tataska Shakti of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, and therefore, when I read this purport, one of the conclusions which I got, that it's quite natural for living entity to be attracted by the Lord's form, name, and all what has connection with the Lord. It's natural. It's not something unnatural. And Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrta, there is very famous verse: Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shudachita Kore Udoi. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya. the love of Krishna eternally exists in the hearts of living entities. And when living entities come in the touch with the chanting and hearing about glories of the Lord, this nature, this Krishna consciousness eternally appear in his consciousness, in his heart. Yeah. And um, hmm, in Bhagavad Gita 7:28, also this famous verse, which describes uh, the condition. What what is the condition for the living entity come in Krishna consciousness? Yes. What should be, what is the condition that living entity be attracted by Krishna consciousness? Yasham tvantaha tam papam jananam punya karmanam tedvandvamoha nirmuktam vanchantamam didhavrata. I I will translate without just how it is called on English. Just a second. Yeah. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful activities are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. And in the if we look at translation of each word, this verse from Bhagavad Gita, um, in the heart of such living entities, the interest in Krishna consciousness appear, yeah, awaken. Yeah. If living entity has some pious, did some pious activity in previous lives, in particular stage of his living in this life, the interest in Krishna consciousness awaken in his heart. If a person very sinful, he does not interested in Krishna consciousness. Only it must be some pious background, yeah. And interesting that sukriti, the word sukriti is pious background, some pious activities which we cannot remember what we did in the past, but the results of piety in sukriti present in our, always present with us. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains three kinds of sukriti. Yeah. First kind of sukriti, piety, when we get after engaging in karmic activities. I mean pious karmic activities, not sinful. Yeah, this one kind of sukriti, piety. The second kind of sukriti, uh, mokshanmukhi sukriti. This sukriti when we get engaging in jnana, in enunciation, jnana yoga, in jnana. And third kind of sukriti, piety, bhakti-unmukhi sukriti. The sukriti with, when we get from the any touch with devotee or some devotional service, yeah, some connection. If there is some connection with devotional service or devotee, it creates some piety, sukriti, which remains eternally with such living entity. In particular time, it can be awakened in any circumstances, particular circumstances. For example, the ordinary living, ordinary materialist can go on the street and see the devotee for Harinam. Yeah. Some interest can be awakened in his heart, but in other in another people, they indifferent. Yeah, but in such a person who has such piety, this interest. What does that mean? What's this? He can buy the book, he can get the prasadam, he can make, he can come close to the association with devotee. And he can come to the temple. Yeah, with different people, different reactions. Yeah, because why somebody interested in devotional service? Because there is some piety. Yeah, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that if the particular um, uh, Bhakti-Unmukhi Sukriti, the piety which we get from the some connection with devotee or devotional service, this kind of Sukriti brings us in the future close to devotional service. Yeah, it's very interesting point. And uh, therefore, we, Srila Prabhupada, following orders for Srila Prabhupada order, we try to preach Krishna consciousness. Every genuine Vaishnava try to preach Krishna consciousness because this is mercy to the fallen living entities. It's mercy. And although we cannot see the results, maybe we will not be able to see the results of our chanting Hare Krishna, preaching, but results will be, they are present, and in future it can be awakened. Yeah, I remember when Srila Prabhupada came to the this country, Kenya, are you right in pronunciation? Kenya is African country, Kenya. There was many Indian refugees live there, businessmen, different people, yeah. And they thought that Srila Prabhupada will preach only among Indians, yeah, because they close, they know what does it mean Vedic culture, yeah. But other people, African people, they has no any understanding. But Srila Prabhupada ordered the devotees to preach, to chant, and to feed prasadam these people. Yeah, and some of the life members asked Srila Prabhupada, "What is the reason for such activities? The people don't understand about spirituality." But Srila Prabhupada see these people as the living entity, as spiritual souls. Doesn't matter what kind of skin or what color of skin they have, or what they are not intelligent. They were not intelligent at all. Yeah, but that pure devotees, such devotees, see all living entities as his parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Therefore, he tried to distribute Krishna consciousness everywhere. It's very interesting, and there is verse. Krishna. Do you remember this verse from second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? Kirati, Pulindi, Pulkashi, different kinds of nations, different kinds of groups of people. They can be completely different in their consciousness, but they can get great value by association with pure devotee. And one interesting point, when Prabhupada came, I believe in 1972, the same in Nairobi, he wanted to take Brahmananda, who was in the charge of developing African Yatra. He wanted to bring Brahmananda to the Bombay because it was struggle fight with Mr. Nair for getting the land for Juhu, for Juhu project. No, you know. And this is interesting. One morning, Srila Prabhupada didn't find his sannyasi set of clothes. He asked Brahmananda, "Where is my sannyasi clothes, set of my clothes?" Brahmananda said, "I don't know. Maybe some washermen take to wash. They use some washermen's, and maybe he put on the ropes and somebody stole your clothes, because in Africa it's ordinary sin, it's usual. People very addicted to crimes. Yeah, very addicted. Yeah, not like in, in Scotland. Yeah. Prabhupada accepts this news. He was tolerant. Okay, but when he came to give class Srimad Bhagavatam class, he he saw that it was some a few about 5 or 6 African new young people who joined to the temple, to the devotees congregation, and Srila Prabhupada, when he was um, when he was ready to begin class Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, saw that one of these young people, on the one of these people, his lunga, on the another this young man, his, how to say this, topis, sannyasi, and on the third, his kurta. He pointed, Brahmananda, what's this? It's my clothes. It's my clothes. Brahmananda call these guys and take away the clothes Srila Prabhupada. This I just um, I just explain this story about what is the consciousness of people. They don't understand that to steal some property is bad. They peacefully they were sitting, and they were ready to hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture in his own clothes. Yeah, or maybe they didn't know that clothes belonged to Srila Prabhupada, but anyway, it not was their clothes. Yeah, that's very interesting. And in this paper, Srila Prabhupada explains that without Krishna consciousness, the materialistic people under influence of threefold miseries. Yeah, and we know that in Bhagavad Gita, let's remember, Krishna explains this jiva, the body is like a field of activity. Yeah, yeah, I write on English, field of activity for the jiva, this field of activity. And if living entity, if materialistic living entity has now as a field of activity, he completely focused on this material body, and if he completely meditate on this material body, of course he will suffer from the threefold miseries. Yeah, adhibhautik, adhidaibika, adhyatmika. And how mercy of pure devotee can awaken in their life. First of all, of course, we know that the bhakti shakti or energy of devotion always near the devotee, always together with devotee. And we know that in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto explains that taking bath in Ganges river can purify persons after after some time, after a long time. But if persons come in the touch with the pure devotee, he can be purified immediately. Yeah, yeah, immediately. And of course, everyone who comes in the connection with the pure devotee, he can try some glimpse of higher test. Yeah. Some glimpse of higher experience and higher test can awaken in his heart, which is I mentioned before in the beginning, this natural, but it's sleeping condition. Yeah, it can be awake. He can feel. He can begin feel some spiritual test. What is he never feel before in his experience. Yeah, that is the value of coming in the contact with the pure devotee. Yeah, he comes in the contact with the energy of bhakti, yeah, and he purified in coming with such energy. And the second, very simple also, how it can be, how he can attract it to Krishna consciousness, is expert preaching of pure devotee, because pure devotee is very expert in preaching. He can find the words how to attract consciousness of materialistic people to the Krishna consciousness. Yeah, because it's very difficult if if devotee don't very experience how to attract attention of materialistic people, they can become offenders. Yeah, therefore he very expert. And I remember story, this very famous story about a hunter, brigari hunter. Do you know this story? No, of course, Hare Krishna Prabhu knows. It's very interesting story. Yeah, I just touched some points. We know that Narada Muni was traveling near Prayag, from Vaikuntha to Prayag. Prayag is holy place in India. Narada Muni was going through the forest on the small, like small road, how to say in English. Yeah, yeah, path, forest path. Yeah, and he saw the hunter who was very dark. His color, his skin, he was dark, very ferocious. A hunter was hunting on animals. Yeah, but before hunter, the Narada Muni saw the one rabbit is um, was injured by arrow, but not died. He was still living. And other animal, some deer also not killed, but injured by the arrow. In this, and Narada Muni was very surprised who do this crime. Yeah, and when he saw then he saw this hunter, Brigari hunter, and Narada Muni thought how to change his consciousness because he was so degraded person. But the hunter Brigari had such some respect to Narada Muni, and when he saw this holy person, saintly person, he bowed down and offered obeisances and some nice words. Yeah, and when Narada Muni asked what Narada Muni asked him, "Can you give me one favor, please?" And Mrihari was so confident that what he's doing is good. It's not nothing wrong in that. It's nice, yeah, to kill, not half kill to the animals. He answered Narada Muni, "Yes, I can fulfill any your desire. I have many skins: tiger skins, deer skins, rabbit skins, deer skins, foxes skins. I can give you any skin. I can give you. I have." He was so degraded person, and Narada Muni said, "No, I I'm not interested in having a skin, any skin. But can you please immediately kill these animals which you hunting? Not remain them half killed, because can you please do?" He was so degraded, he was so lower-minded person that he could not understand at the first what is wrong. He answered. He told Brigari told what is what bad in my activity. Uh, my father was a hunter also. I follow his instructions, his explanations, his example, and I enjoy to see that these animals have killed. Yeah, he even didn't understand what is wrong. Yeah, and only then Narada Muni began to explain that if you uh, if you don't kill immediately, these animals, you will get more sinful reaction than if you remain half killed, because it's very, very, very dangerous for you. You will get very, very horrible sinful reactions. Do this. And Rigari began to ask questions. Narada Muni answer questions, and step by step, Narada Muni influence is using a logic and argument on his level, on level of hunter. He influenced upon his consciousness in the at the end. Rigari completely surrendered to the Narada Muni and give up his bow, his activities. He became pure devotee. Uh, I just yeah. Sorry, I don't understand. Yeah, 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 yeah. And Brigari surrendered to the Narada Muni. And this is example that devotee also, pure devotee, not also has influence, spiritual Shakti, but he also very expert in preaching to the according to the level of understanding particular materialistic persons. Yeah, very, very expert. Yeah. There is one morning walk conversation in one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, one of the 26 qualities of the Vaishnava is Daksha, very expert. What does it mean? Should we be very expert in everything? Yeah. What does it mean practical? And Prabhupada said you should be know little bit about everything and all about one. You understand? You should know little about everything, and you should know all about devotional service, about one. Expert about devotional service. Yeah, that's nice. Therefore, we should have faith in the order of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master, and we should always preach Krishna consciousness. When Krishna came to the house of Akrura, he glorified Akrura, and he told one interesting thing. He told that Akrura, the people, the demigod, you are above the demigods. You are more higher level than demigods, because demigods fulfill desire of those who worship them, only those who worship them. But devotee like you can fulfill desire everyone, even they don't ask you about fulfilling their desires. Yeah, like, interesting. And therefore, we should have faith in the order of the Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master. And according to our abilities, we should try to preach Krishna consciousness, and try to connect people with this spiritual energy. Yeah, to bring the great value in their life, and to help them to come to Krishna consciousness in the some future. Yeah. Hare Krishna, maybe.
I think it's in the purport it mentions that the devotee should be determined. So it's so is determination something which you can force yourself to be determined, or if a devotee is practicing Krishna consciousness for many years and then he has a fall down, then another devotee could say, well, his problem was he was never determined enough. So I just wondered you speak a little bit more about it's Vridavrata, isn't it?
About
Vridavrata.
Dridharvata. There is no one condition to be Dridharvata. There is no only one side. The many sides must be present simultaneously. Yeah. Of course, we should have understanding what we are doing. Yeah. What is the meaning? What does that mean? What is the goal of our activities? Yeah. Therefore, we should get knowledge from the spiritual master, Sambandha Gyan, and this chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita called the process of devotional service, and Lord Chaitanya explains process of devotional service to Sanatana Goswami. Yeah. That means in the process of hearing, we get understanding and inspiration to work in particular direction in devotional service. But also sometimes we cannot be spontaneous. It's natural. We should push we should take ourselves and yeah. Therefore, it must be simultaneously present. I remember when Yudhishthira Maharaj was getting the instructions of Bhishmadev at the edge of his death. Bhishmadev said one interesting thing. Yeah, he was very great warrior, Bhishmadev. Yeah, he told one among all instructions. He told one interesting thing: how to overcome the fear. How to overcome? Do you understand me? Yeah. Yeah. How to overcome fear? You should push yourself. Yeah. Bhishmadev said you should push upon yourself. You should push yourself. Yeah. Therefore, sometimes we're not spontaneous. Even if we distribute books 30 years, when we begin distributing books in particular day, we should make endeavors because our mind always do some obstacles. Yeah, even 30 and 50 years, it's the same mind. Therefore, we should push ourselves. Yeah.
Hari. Hari Bol.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Therefore, we should be under guidance of spiritual master or experienced devotee who can help us if we have some problems, uh, who can help us to be more happy and satisfied and continue to practice Krishna consciousness. Yeah, there are mm, many things which can be disturb us. Yeah, in different because we are different. Yeah, everyone has his particular strong side of his character and weak side. It's natural. Yeah, therefore we should be under guidance of more experienced person. It's very important. Yeah, yeah, please. Yeah. 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 Uh, there is no loss on the path of devotional service. Yeah, it's not. It can. It eternally our how to say our asset. Yeah, it's eternally is our property. Our devotional service remains eternally with us. Results of our devotional service eternally. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, when you speak about what time of finishing, 32 minutes. When you spoke about Pratishta, I remember the Pratishta is one of the two demons which were killed by Balaram. Yeah, there are different in Krishna Lila. There are different demons, and they Bhaktivinoda Thakur make comparison with different anarthas, different demons, and all anarthas, all demons. Krishna killed all demons, almost all demons. Krishna killed almost demons. That means that many anarthas purified automatically by Krishna's mercy, but two anarthas killed by Balaram. And this Pratishtha means Pralambasura is yeah, is subtle anartha. Even sannyasi can have yeah, can have such anarthas. And Dhenukasura, stupidity, negligence of devotional service, like aparathas, like ungentle behavior among the devotees, different. Yeah, there are many. And these two kinds of anarthas should be conquered by our endeavors under guidance of spiritual master, who is representative of Balaram. Yeah, this is our yeah, explanation. Yeah, Pratishka, yeah, very, yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. First, Dhenukasura, this negligence, I write, this gross behavior, negligence of devotional service, some not attentiveness, not when person not attentive, not gentle. He very easy can commit some offenses to devotees. So holy name, he chant Hare Krishna and and then yeah, many some many different kind of activities. It's like because Dhenukasura is S. It means we are come to we became devotee, but we our behavior was like S. Gross, gross ignorance. Yeah, prestige, pratishka, prestige. Yeah. No, sloppy. Yeah. Like some usual, there is no respect to devotional activities. Some ordinary, like not better than any in the material. Yeah, inattentiveness. Yeah. Yes. Uh, okay, can I finish? Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Srila Prabhupada ki, all glories to the Son of Devotees. Hare Krishna.